Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Wisconsin.
Well, the calendar may have turned, but it still feels like summer. Beautiful hot night in Milwaukee. Great for tailgating, great for baseball. And we're set for the Pirates and the Milwaukee Brewers. It is game one of this 3-game series. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minard is our reporter tonight. Well, indeed, we turn the calendar to September 1st. That means September call-ups, and that means two different philosophies right now for the Pirates and the Brewers.
Yeah, the Pirates are in go mode. They have 10 relievers in their bullpen. They've got 8 players on their bench, so the Pirates emptied out their minor league system to try and chase down the Cardinals. The Brewers, on the other hand, they get Gerardo Parra last year for a couple of minor leaguers. They parlay that into Zach Davies. We're going to see him tomorrow. He's traded to the Brewers. You saw his numbers right there down in the minor leagues. Combined 6 and 8. Earning run average not too bad. But Davies is a guy that is going to get an opportunity here tomorrow. I'm probably going to spend the rest of September in the starting rotation. So it's audition mode for the Brewers. The Pirates are looking to chase down the Cardinals.
And in the meantime, it is Jimmy Nelson on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers tonight. Round 5, ding, ding. He's matched up quite often with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Craig and Davey will break down Big Jim when we continue.
Is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Jimmy Nelson pitching tonight, his last start, one to forget. 8 walks, a career high for him against the Indians. That snapped a 4-game win streak. 8 walks, a career high in that single game. And believe it or not, against the Pirates in his career, he has only given up 8 walks. And that spells good, Davey, because he is 3-1 this season with a 1.85 ERA. And if you're going to turn it around and need a bounce-back game against the right opponent, maybe he's got it all lined up tonight.
Well, that's right. And what Jimmy, I think, has done well against the Pirates, number one, he's had great command. 2, he's pitched ahead in the count, and he's been able to use that nice slider of his to get some early outs and some strikeouts.
So Jimmy Nelson will try to improve his record. Already his 5th start of the season against Pittsburgh, trying to play spoiler. So the Brewer team, could they play spoiler here tonight against Pittsburgh? We will find out. They've got their eyes on the playoffs. First of a 3-game series. Enjoy it, everyone.
July 1st, they have been the best team in baseball and roll into Milwaukee looking to continue the surge. Andrew McCutchen on the first pitch, and it is gone. A home run. The Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Reds, riding a recent wave of balanced contribution. Now Santana, right center field. That is back there. Santana hits another one out. Oh, man. Tonight, the Brew Crew trying to quiet down the Buccos. It's next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And we are ready for baseball tonight. A beautiful night. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. 87 degrees. It's a warm September night here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Roof is open. The panels are open as well. Not a cloud in the sky. Easy to get loose on a night like this. High humidity here as well. So you see Starling Marte, the very talented Pittsburgh Pirates. Gregory Polanco in the leadoff spot tonight. Then Marte, then Andrew McCutchen. Middle of the order, Aramis Ramirez, the former Brewer. Jung Ho Kang will play shortstop. He's having a terrific season. He bats 5th. Neil Walker batting 6th. And then the bottom 3 is Pedro Alvarez, Francisco Cervelli, and Garrett Cole, the Pirates ace, on the mound against Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, Jimmy looking for a rebound after his last start against the Indians in Cleveland. Had a lot of control problems. 3 1/3, 4 hits, 5 runs. He walked 8, a season high 8, and only 3 1/3. And looking to rebound from that. He's done very well against the Pirates in his career, making start number 5. He's got a 3-1 record and a 1.85 ERA. All 4 starts against the Pirates have come this year.
Well, we'll see who has an advantage. Typically, if Nelson's on his game, he always has the advantage, much like his mound opponent tonight, Garrett Cole, who's making a significant run at a Cy Young Award this year. Certainly in the conversation. Set for the first pitch of the ball game as Gregory Polanco steps in. First pitch from Nelson is down low, ball 1, and away we go. Polanco comes in batting .265, has 7 home runs and 41 driven in. Hasn't hit for the power that the Pirates think he will at some point. But Pittsburgh, Rock, they boast one of the most athletic, talented outfields in all of baseball. You got 3 center fielders who play in each outfield spot, and they're about as good as it gets. Running balls down, they bring a lot of offense to the picture as well. All 3 of those guys hit 1, 2, 3 in the batting order.
And they've got terrific throwing arms out there. Starling Marte out in left field, 12 outfield assists. Polanco, the guy at the plate, with 9. So you can't run on him. They run him down out there in the outfield, although the Pirates defense has not been very good this year.
Now, Polanco with good numbers on the road. The Pirates have been a good road team, especially lately. They've won 7 of their last 8 road games. But it is interesting, though. The Pirates are 8 games under against the National League Central. The Brewers swept them here. The last time these 2 teams matched up, that was just after the All-Star break, July 17, 18, and 19. Pirates have been a buzzsaw since that time. The best record in the league after they were swept. On the ground to Jeanette, and that'll be out number 1, and that'll be the way the game begins for Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, no surprises defensively for the Brewers, but the Brewers defense brought to you by Menards, Davis, Santana, and Braun. That's been the outfield for a while now. Herrera gets a start at third base. Segura and Jeanette up the middle. Adam Lind at first, and Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate. He had Sunday off, and yesterday was a team off day, so Lucroy probably feeling pretty fresh out there tonight.
Santana back out there, 6th start in center field. It's not his comfortable position. He's a corner outfielder, but he said things are going all right in center field. They're playing very deep to try to help him out in center field as Nelson delivers strike 1 to Starling Marte.
Yep, he's made some pretty nice catches out there in the outfield. Sometimes he gets a poor break, not used to, the angle off the bat in center field. A little bit different in center than in left and right.
Now Marte's had a very nice year this year offensively for the Pirates. 15 homers, 63 runs batted in. Pretty sweet spot in the batting order as well, hitting in front of Andrew McCutchen. There's a late swing.
That's that breaking pitch for Jimmy Nelson, the slider. As tough as it might be, you have to control the top 2 in this batting order before you have to get to Andrew McCutchen.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Marte. Rolls over 1 foul. Pittsburgh is coming off a loss against the Rockies. Like the Brewers, the Pirates had yesterday off as well. But they did win the series against Colorado. Took 2 out of 3 from the Rockies at home. That was just a 3-game homestand for Clint Hurdle's Pirates. They're in the middle of a stretch of 13 out of 16 on the road. And they're in the middle of a stretch starting tonight where they play 17 straight against the division. Nelson makes a play, a high throw. Lynn comes down with it. And 2 men are out here for Nelson in the first inning.
And that's the way it should be. As the season winds up in September, you play the teams in your own division. The Brewers are going to be dealing with that.
So 17 in a row against the National League Central for the Pirates. We gave you the numbers against the division. They're 8 games under 500. Is this a team that's 29 games over 500 for the season? And they're 8 games under against their own division. This is a huge stretch for the Pirates. They're comfortably inside the wild card picture. They actually have an 11-game cushion from the top wild card spot, which they occupy, to the 3rd place team right now for the wild card. That would be the Giants. That would put you on the outside looking in.
Yeah, 79 wins, one of the best totals in the National League, and they really have had a difficult time keeping pace with the Cardinals. They got to within 3, but the Cardinals just won't lose.
And they open play today, 5 games behind St. Louis.
The crowded bench for the Pirates. Crowded bench, crowded bullpen.
Now fully utilizing the September call-up rules. And a loaded bullpen out there of 10 pitchers. Clint Hurdle could start playing matchup next inning if he wanted. McCutchen takes a slider for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Andrew McCutchen.
10 pitchers in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. 8 guys on the bench.
McCutchen coming off a monster month of August. He'll be making a serious run at Player of the Month in the National League. In the month of August, he hit .348, had 5 home runs in August, and 19 driven in. That was in 27 games. Had an OPS over 1,000. And McCutchen, since the All-Star break, has been an MVP force. And he hits that one hard into right center field. Braun going back, looking up. It's off the top of the wall. McCutchen on his way to second with a double. A 2-out, 2-strike double off the right center field fence.
Yeah, Jimmy hung a slider and he hammers it. And McCutchen now with a 9-game hitting streak, double number 33. That guy just can hit. And he talked about his numbers in the month of August, and he has always hit well against Milwaukee. They rope off the right center field fence.
Well, nice hand as they introduce Aramis Ramirez. His first trip to Miller Park in a Pirates uniform this time around. Going to finish his career where it started as a Bucco. Brewers trading him to the Pirates, and he's giving them a nice lift.
Well, you knew he wasn't going to get a first pitch fastball. The Brewers, if anybody, knows that he's a dead red first pitch fastball guy. Nelson gives him a slider.
Well, Ramirez's batting average is about the same as it was when he was in Milwaukee, just 1 point better, actually, hitting .248 as a Pirate. However, in 30 games, he has driven in 20 runs for the Pirates. Has a couple of home runs. And a free swinger always. He's down 0-2.
And the Pirates feel he's just a force in that lineup right behind Andrew McCutchen, and teams might not be so willing to walk McCutchen with Ramirez there. With Ramirez in the cleanup spot, they're able to ratchet down the rest of the guys in the lineup. Gives them more balance, according to Clint Hurdle.
McCutchen with a double. He's at second. The 0-2 pitch is fouled away. Now, Ramirez said he really enjoyed his time here in Milwaukee. He's glad to be on a contending team. It's his last season. He announced during Brewer spring training this year that this would be his final season as a major league player. And he's glad to have a chance to play in the postseason. Wants to win a World Series. That's something that has eluded him. He's had very few playoff opportunities. Had a few with the Cubs, but as good as he's been, he hasn't been on a lot of winning teams in his career. As he lays the bat out there, fly ball slicing, and that'll be a foul ball. Count will remain at 0-2. All that said, though, with Ramirez, he is so appreciative of Milwaukee and the Brewers organization. He really enjoyed playing here, and so when he signed as a free agent, he wasn't sure. He played here so much. He spent his entire career in the National League Central. Pirates, the Cubs, Brewers, and now finishing with the Pirates. But grew an even greater appreciation for baseball here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shatters his bat on that up and in fastball.
Hard to walk Aramis, really is. I mean, it's been 5 pitches, all either strikes or pitches that he swung at.
That's interesting, Rock. You see, I know Ramirez carries a couple of different sizes of bats, and part of the speed up rules a couple of years ago, the bat boys always have the second bat, the one that's an exact replica. Ramirez didn't want that one.
Maybe give me the lighter one.
He wanted the lighter one. You're right.
He just knocked the bat out of my hand.
So give me the smaller one. He had to tell the bat boy exactly which one he wanted. So he's got his 2-strike bat here. I believe it is an inch shorter and 2 ounces lighter.
Yeah, so bounce the curveball here.
Right.
Go it even slower.
I'm sure Lucroy is spotting all of this behind the plate. The 0-2 pitch, and it's a fastball. 95 with the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ramirez. Jimmy Nelson's had a 1-2 count on each of the first 4 hitters of this game. McCutchen with a 2-out double. He's at second. Ramirez has started 28 games at third base. Only twice has he not been the starting third baseman for the Pirates once he arrived to Pittsburgh. One-two again, and Ramirez takes it low.
It's got to be easy to get motivated for games when you show up at the ballpark when you're on a team like the Pirates, and pretty good chance or pretty much a cinch to get into the postseason. The spot they're in remains to be seen. They're still thinking they might be able to catch the Cardinals.
And if they end up in the wild card spot, which it looks like they will at this point, they have time to catch the Cardinals, but that's the most realistic spot as the #1 wild card team. That would be the 3rd consecutive year that Clint Hurdle's club has hosted the wild card game, the one and done game. And while you appreciate getting into the postseason, getting yourself into a division series is much better. There's a shattered bat, and Segura will make the play to take care of his buddy. And that new bat didn't last long. Jimmy Nelson, a scoreless first. Now the Brewers coming up against Garrett Cole. And the Brewers coming off a win in their last game against the Cincinnati Reds. Won that series 2 out of 3. Here is the Potawatomi batting order for Council with Jeanette, Lucroy, and Braun at the top. Lynn Davison, Santana in the middle with Segura, Herrera, Jimmy Nelson rounding out Council's starting 9 against one of the league's best, Rock. This guy has taken his game to that next level. Garrett Cole, 15-game winner in the big leagues, a 2.44 earned run average.
Yeah, that earned run average good for 5th best in the National League. The 15 wins tied for 3rd. He's 9th in innings pitched. It goes on and on. He's up there in strikeouts. He won his last time out against the Marlins, and before that, he had lost 4 of his last 5 decisions, but really pitched well. It was more or less run support issues for Cole than him not pitching well.
He's been great all season. He's been especially great on the road this year. As Scooter Gennett steps in, flailing away. How about Garrett Cole? You know, on the road, his ERA is 2.13, and you see his last couple of starts, and one of them on the road against the Miami Marlins. 0.63 earned run average. Only Jake Arrieta, who just threw a no-hitter Sunday, as Gennett muscles one into left field, a base hit.
Well, the Brewers are 2-2 against Garrett Cole. 6 starts for Cole against Milwaukee, a 3.00 earned run average. He's basically a 2-pitch pitcher. Throws hard, upper 90s, with a pretty good slider.
How about Scooter Gennett? He's 8 for 15 in his career against Garrett Cole after that base hit.
They just fists one out there into left field. They had gun shaded way up the middle, and the jam shot ends up in left field.
A base runner to start it for Jonathan Lucroy. Now, only Jake Arrieta and Zach Greinke with better road ERAs than Garrett Cole. That's saying a lot, because you're going to have to win on the road, especially you get into the postseason. There's typically a spot where an ace like Garrett Cole is going to need a road win, and if Pittsburgh ends up in the wild card spot and they end up advancing, and then depending on how it lays out, if you're going to win a World Series, somebody's going to have to take the ball on the road and dominate, and that's the kind of stuff that Garrett Cole has.
Yep, they got Liriano in that rotation. He's been pretty good. And the Pirates starter is a 3.44 earned run average, 4th best amongst National League teams starting rotations.
Lucroy in the left center field, a base hit. Marte cuts it off, and now Gennett's going to challenge him. The cutoff and relay, and saved at third.
Well, that's a big risk right there. I'll tell you, we talked about Marte and how well he throws the baseball. He's got 12 outfield assists out there in left field. And Gennett taking a big risk with nobody out. Yeah, slider down the middle, and Lucroy able to center on it. There's a guy that's really swinging the bat well. Not sure why that ball was cut off. If that ball's not cut off, they might have a better chance of getting him at third base.
Now, you can tell Marte, he's a little frustrated. I don't know if he's frustrated at himself. Maybe not the urgency required to make a play at third base, or the fact that the throw was cut off, but it was a strange looking play, and with an arm like Marte,
right,
from left field to third base, that's typically not a cutoff and relay situation.
Scooter might have surprised him by taking off.
So here's Braun. He swings at the first pitch, and looky there. Another jam shot hit, and the Brewers are on the board just like that. 3 straight hits off Garrett Cole, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee.
And 95 with a fastball, got in on Braun's hands, but able to muscle it out there into right field. So 2 of the 3 hits not hit all that well. This is a jam shot, but Braun's strong enough to get it out into left field. And Scooter able to score after being very aggressive in getting to third base.
Well,
on Lucroy's hit.
5 pitches for Garrett Cole, and the Brewers already have 3 hits and a run. Braun with an RBI, his 78th of the season. That leads the club. Ryan Braun's first career hit against Garrett Cole. He had been 0 for 8. And here's Lind, and Cole, sensing the Brewers are ambushing the fastball, he flips him a curveball up there for ball 1. Two on, nobody out. A run is in.
Tried to backdoor the slider. Already Cole trying to break out all of his pitches to keep this Brewers offense honest, keep them all balanced.
And it's 3-0 now. Well, Adam Lind put together very solid offensive season in Milwaukee in his first season here. 282 hitter, 17 homers, 71 runs batted in. And Lind takes a strike on a 3-0 pitch. He'll swing at 3-0 every now and then.
And they certainly swing at 3-1 for sure.
He's got a couple of men on base. Jimmy Nelson stranding McCutchen at second in the first with 3 ground ball outs, and now the Brewers answering it. Lind rips that one into left center. To the wall it goes. In to score, Lucroy. Here comes Braun. He's going to try. The throw to the plate, cut off. Braun scores. 2 runs in on a double by Adam Lind. 3-0 Milwaukee right from the jump tonight.
I mentioned the Brewers have had some success against Garrett Cole. 2-2 in 4 starts. Fastball on a 3-1 count out away from him. He just drives it into that left center field gap. And Ryan Braun able to score all the way from first base. Ed Cedar being very, very aggressive, sending Braun with nobody out, but they cut off the throw.
And the guy who cut off the throw was pitcher Garrett Cole. He was not backing up home plate. He just decided he'd cut it off, and Braun scores easily.
That's why he cut it off. He didn't want to get by the catcher. He should have been behind home plate.
Brewers have already tied the most earned runs that Garrett Cole has allowed on the road this season. Already. Still nobody out. We're in the first inning. 4 straight hits.
And they're hitting sliders. They're hitting fastballs. Even when they don't hit the ball hard, they're finding holes and getting base hits.
11 pitches into the game. He's 3-0 down. Chris Davis, who's coming off a big month of August in the power category. He was the Brewers Player of the Month. He and Taylor Youngman winning the monthly awards for the Brewers organization.
Just a nice quiet approach up there at the plate, and he had really had what he had 3 multi-home run games, 10 home runs. That's first in the National League, and 24 RBI. So yeah, he is making a run at Player of the Month. We'll see.
And our lows never stop improving. Talked to him earlier today at the cage, and he's glad to have the playing time. He has not been a player at this point of his career that has had any success coming off the bench or in a pinch hitting role, a sporadic playing time role. So he's a guy that's got to start, and he needs to play every day pretty much. But he followed that statement up with, it's a tough league and you have to earn your way into that lineup every day.
And that wasn't going to happen before the trade. You know, Parra was swinging the bat well. Gomez is going to play. Braun. He's got the opportunity. He's making the most of it.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Counsell has seen 3 runs in. Lind out at second base. And Davis fouls it away, stays alive.
Getting a lot of the play with his pitches is Garrett Cole. That slider down the middle. Fastballs getting a lot of the play. Brewers are taking advantage.
Nelson and Lucroy talking pitching. And a swing and a miss. There is the first out for Garrett Cole. So the 5th batter he faces in his first inning.
That ball 4. Fastball up. And Chris not able to lay off of it.
And that'll bring up Domingo Santana. Santana playing in his 9th game. First ball swinging. Gung will make the play for out number 2. On the play, Adam Lind advances to third base. 2 men are out. And that'll bring up Gene Segura. Brewers will have 3 against the Pirates all night games this week. Wednesday night, Thursday night to wrap up the series, and then Milwaukee will head to Cincinnati, starting a long road trip, a 3-city road trip coming up. Cincinnati, Miami, and then we'll see the Pirates again in Pittsburgh next week. Segura's had pretty good success against Garrett Cole. He and Scooter Gennett have hit him well. Gene is 6 for 18 career. against the big right-hander from UCLA, former first-round draft pick. He was a 1-1 first pick overall.
He just got a nice fluid delivery, and the ball comes out of his hand well. Big velocity. It looks effortless for him.
Adam Lind doubles in 2 runs. He's at third with 2 away. And he didn't get him to bite that time. Segura lays off the breaking ball.
Got a couple of curved balls to Segura, one for a strike, one right there that's down in the dirt.
Segura coming off a 4-hit series against the Reds. He was 4 for 12. Has another 20 stolen base season this season. Gives him 3 in a row. 2-2 the count. And that one just missed.
98. Cole looking in, and Bill Miller looking right back at him.
Home plate umpire is also the crew chief. Full count. 2 men are out. And a bouncer up the middle. Gung is over. The throw to first, and it's in and out of the glove of Alvarez.
Yeah, he doesn't help you out there defensively, Pedro Alvarez. And if he picks it, it's an out, but he has had a difficult time over there at first base.
It's going to be an infield hit and an RBI, and the Brewers lead 4-0 in the first inning.
Yeah, this is a play that the first baseman's got to be able to make. Gung had to get rid of it quickly. That was a short hop. He just clanked it. It's not just the errors by a first baseman. It's plays like this he had to be able to make that he did not. And another run in.
And we're going to get an early visit to the mound by pitching coach Ray Searage. Never expecting to have to go chat with his ace in the first inning. Well, what an inning it's been.
Yeah, probably just trying to calm him down, saying, hey, look, should be out of the inning. Let's get this guy and get in the dugout. Pedro Alvarez has 18 errors over at first base.
You talked about the Pirates and where they sit defensively. A lot of that has to do with Alvarez. Either, I think that it's threefold. His time at third base last year set them up as a poor defensive team, but they actually are plus defenders in a lot of areas. They also lost Jordy Mercer, who's on the comeback trail now for the Pirates, and he'll solidify things at the shortstop position. But as you mentioned, with Alvarez now at first base, he's not making plays. He's not saving errors like a much better defensive first baseman would. So all of those gives the impression that the Pirates are poor defensively. There's a strike call. Throw to second is on the bag. Wow, what a throw by Francisco Cervelli, and that's how the inning ends. Brewers are going to take a peek at this one, but what a start. Scooter Gennett right out of the gates, and then Lucroy, Braun with a jam shot and an RBI, and then Lind, he found the barrel, drove into the 4th run on an infield hit by Segura.
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Jimmy Nelson going back to work with a 4-0 lead here in the series opener. And Nelson said he just had to deal with a mixed bag of issues in what proved to be a short start for him Wednesday in Cleveland, going just 3 1/3. He said he just had a really hard time repeating his delivery, leading to a career high 8 walks, and said he also just had a tough time getting a grip on the ball. It was a cold, wet, rainy night there in Cleveland, but said, regardless, I have to be able to perform and get through that. So he said, knowing that there has been success in the past recently, he came in on a 4-game winning streak. He feels you don't have to go back to the drawing board, just had a good bullpen. Says it's just about getting back to routine and repeating his delivery well tonight. And
it's got to be a bit of a shock, Sophia, to toe the rubber in the second inning, up 4-0 on Garrett Cole and the Pirates. Jimmy Nelson's one of those guys. He's from Florida, played his college ball at Alabama, and for a guy that sweats a lot, comparable to a Bill Schroeder sweat situation, he does prefer the heat, though. He doesn't like the cold weather, and it was that night in Cleveland. It was cold there. It was in the 50s, and it was misting rain. It was just a tough night to pitch. It's a little bit of a shock.
Do you feel compelled to have to throw me into that?
I just wanted Jimmy to know he had a brother in sweat.
Hey, big guy sweat. Just ask Mike, guy next to you. Come on.
Gung takes a called strike 3, and on 3 pitches, Nelson rings up Jung Ho Gung.
Yeah, good command on the inside part of the plate. Working quickly. He's throwing strikes. And just maybe a blip on the radar screen that start against the Indians. And Lucroy holds it there nicely, and Bill Miller rings it up.
First strikeout for Nelson. First 3 outs in the first inning were on ground outs. And Gung takes a seat. Here's Neil Walker, the switch hitter. He's been moved down in the lineup a little bit. He's on the first pitch. Lynn's got it, and we'll flip it to Nelson for out number 2. I'm sure there's a little bit of redemption on the mind of Jimmy Nelson. That outing he had in Cleveland, as Sophia mentioned, that one burned him. He is a very competitive individual. Everybody who makes it to this level has an elite level of competitiveness, but Jimmy Nelson burns extremely hot, especially after a start like that. 8 walks in 3 1/3 innings.
Well, you remember that start right before Jimmy's. Willie Peralta had a rough start. He bounced back nicely on Sunday. 7 strong innings in a Brewers victory against Cincinnati. There was no worries about Willie Peralta's velocity on Sunday. He was getting it up there, topped out at about 98 a couple of times, and that was a big story between starts for Peralta. Where was the velocity in Cleveland?
Now the Brewers are putting a lot of their eggs in the baskets of Jimmy Nelson and Willie Peralta. That's where the future is for Milwaukee, and they're hoping they can emerge as not just aces, 1s and 2s of the Brewers ball club, but what you would consider an ace around Major League Baseball. Well, the clock is ticking, and they certainly have the stuff to do it. Can they put all the pieces together? There's a curveball. Nelson can't quite grab it, but it's on the shift right to Segura, and that's a 3-3 down inning. So a good start for Jimmy. 4-0 Brewers lead it. They're coming up in the second. first inning against the Pirates ace. Now, last night in our Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. Machado put this one what he thought was going to be out, and Kevin Kiermaier going all Mike Trout on him. What a play that was. Even Chris Archer had to be in awe of that play. In case you missed it from last night, that was my top vote for defensive play of the night last night. That's a full sprint, leap, catch, slam into the wall, ribs first. Elian Herrera to center field. McCutchen, that's over his head. And it one hops out. That's a ground rule double. Well, the Brewers are swinging the heavy lumber against Garrett Cole tonight.
And Herrera put a charge into that one. We've seen him do that on a couple of occasions as of late. Elian has been playing just about every day, either at second or third. And he gives that one a charge. McCutchen playing a little bit more shallow than he normally plays with Herrera at the plate. This one hops out of here. And for a leadoff double, giving Jimmy Nelson a chance to drop down a bunt. 6 hits already from Milwaukee.
And Nelson pops the bunt off the netting. I would not think that Garrett Cole is an easy guy to bunt off of with his array of stuff. And even though he's not pitching well early in this game, he's still throwing 97, 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, that and the fact that he's hit 9 batters. And no team in baseball hits more batters than the Pittsburgh Pirates.
So the scouting report for Jimmy Nelson is just do your best to get a bunt down. Try not to get hit by a pitch.
Don't get hurt.
Yeah, that one zips in at 97. That's cruising speed.
Yeah, they hit the most and they've been hit the most. I guess the one goes with the other, doesn't it?
Well, they have a lot of hitters that stand right on top of the plate, and the Pirates do take exception to a lot of their hitters being hit by pitches, and they certainly pitch inside like that one. As Nelson fouls it away, that'll be a strikeout. Second strikeout for Garrett Cole, first out of the inning.
Hey, the Brewers and the Pirates continue the battle tomorrow night at 7:10 and Wednesday night at 6:20. With Brewers dynamic deals, you can find a great deal on tickets, including field outfield seats for just $35 and Terrace Reserve for $15. Visit Brewers.com/tickets. 6:20 start on Thursday. Remember that.
Glad you pointed that out. I might have been late.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to show up until about 6.
Oh, you'd be here early then?
Scooter Gennett back at the top of the lineup.
An early start for getaway day.
Brewers handing themselves a night game getaway. Those are always a treat, rolling in about 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Only Cincinnati.
That's true.
Could be worse.
Gennett with a single his last time up. Little flare into left field. Got the Brewers offense jump started tonight. That one's another one in on his hands. Pop up to Gung. Out number 2. Big Garrett Cole. All-star this season. Making a serious run at the Cy Young Award. You got to figure Greinke's on that list. Jake Arrieta for sure. And then Garrett Cole. Lucroy's been hot lately. Got 15 hits in his last 32 at-bats after his single his last time up. 15 for 32. That's a .469 average. He has raised his batting average during that stretch from .235 to .256. Now sitting on a 9-game hitting streak. Only Puig, who's on the disabled list with a longer hitting streak, active. Herrera with a leadoff double, still standing at second base. Lucroy said he's feeling strong. All these off days in August have helped him stay in the lineup every day.
And not so many off days in September. Brewers have 2.
Would imagine Martin Maldonado will get a little more playing time.
Yeah, Maldonado caught on Sunday, and Lucroy was over at first base. You might see a little bit of that. You might see, you know, the Pirates have 2 left-handers going to be on the mound next 2 nights. You might see Lucroy over at first base.
Jeff Locke tomorrow. Francisco Liriano on Thursday. Herrera takes off. Cole paying no attention to him. Swipes third base easily.
And 2 pitchers out on the mound tonight that you can take liberties on. Both Jimmy Nelson and Garrett Cole give up a lot of stolen bases. And Herrera with 2 outs able to get in there uncontested.
Opens the door for a few more scoring opportunities. Just his 2nd steal of the year. Here's a 2-2 to Lucroy. Thinking right field.
And now an infield hit scores a run.
Wild pitch, pass ball, an error. Brewers were able to score a 4th run in that scenario last inning. Another runner at third.
Balk.
Two and two. Lucroy into right field, a base hit. Herrera scores, and it is 5-0 Milwaukee. Lucroy with a little jam shot RBI. They're all falling tonight for the Brewers.
Well, Lucroy now, he's going to be pushing 260 for that batting average. Boy, has he been hot lately. Yeah, good approach, stays right on it, and able to muscle it in the hole between first and second. Yeah, so Herrera, who doubled, stole a bag, and able to score easily on the Lucroy single.
And he would tell you all those line drive outs throughout the year, they're being made up tonight.
And he had a lot of them.
How about that? Garrett Cole allowing the most earned runs all season. We're in the 2nd inning. Even the aces have their bad nights. And the Brewers are jumping on Cole quickly here tonight.
Yeah, Brewers playing nice and loose. And playing with reckless abandon. The Pirates have a lot to play for.
Big swing by Braun.
Times that's the most difficult opponent to play. If you're the Pirates facing a team that really has nothing to lose at this point, like the Brewers.
Now, the dynamic of the September call-ups is always an interesting discussion. And when you're playing well as a team, you're going along, having success, and then you inject 3, 4, 5 players into that clubhouse scene, into the dugout, into the bullpen. Not to say it's those players' fault by any stretch, but it does change something. It changes what you've done. Now, every team does it. Every contending team has specialty pieces when they make the call-ups. And whether or not baseball should have September call-ups, at least at this extent, where you could go up to 40 on a roster right now. Nobody really does that, but you can. You can expand up to 40 players. It is an interesting dynamic that no other sport has other than baseball. It's a completely different way you manage the game, the way you scout a game plan. Changes everything. 2-2 pitch. Drawn in the air to center. And McCutchen will run under this one for the final out. But the Brewers add one to it. Jonathan Lucroy with a 2-out RBI after the double by Herrera. Lucroy brings him in to make it 5-0 Brewers. Run with an RBI. His second hit. You see this last night, Rock?
I saw this one.
Shane Victorino literally took the wall down.
That's my defensive play of the night. Right here. This is the part I like right here. Calling timeout. Got a problem with the fence. It might look bad right now, but check it out in a couple of minutes.
Let me just go ahead and rip that thing down.
Replace it completely.
Well, State Farm's loving it. It's about the only one.
That's right.
So here we go to the third inning. Francisco Cervelli will lead off. And then Garrett Cole back to the top of the order. Gregory Polanco. Cervelli's been a nice addition for the Pirates. He's maintained a .300 batting average this year. Hitting .303 coming in. That's in 400 plate appearances. Has over 100 hits. He's got an on-base percentage near .380. That was a giant hole that the Pirates had when Russell Martin decided to sign with the Blue Jays. And many felt that was going to be a tough one to recover, but Cervelli has done well. Braun. Oh, what a catch by Braun! Right in the palm of his glove. A last-minute stab, and Ryan Braun takes extra bases away from Cervelli.
He got a great jump on it. Ryan playing a little bit deeper, and watch the way he's able to angle back. He's been out there for quite some time. He knows exactly where he is on the field, and right in the glove, able to squeeze it right on the heel of the glove. Actually overran it just a little bit. Jimmy liked it.
Looks like some Velcro is in that glove, just stuck right in the palm. Nice catch, Ryan Braun.
Man, Ryan's been playing at a very good top level as of late, with all that's happened with the ball club, and playing every day and playing hard out there, defensively in right field.
Garrett Cole has 6 hits this year. Pitcher at the plate. And he got him. Nelson rings the bell with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Hey, tonight's time in the game winner, the Lanes in Racine. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to an April or May 2016 Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. So Marcus Hanno is very familiar with the Lanes.
He has a tough time finding a bowling ball, though. He just throws it like a softball.
He doesn't need the holes. He just picks them up and throws them like a baseball.
Giant hands. Here's Polanco back to the top of the order. The conspiracy theorist in me, Rock, wonders if that punch out right there by Bill Miller on Garrett Cole had something to do with
the stare down.
First inning stare down from Cole on a very similar pitch. Says, you know what, Garrett, you're right. That was a strike.
The old Tom Hallion treatment.
The Pirates ace with the head down. It's been a tough night for him already. Two balls, no strikes on Polanco. And that one's into center field. Sounded good. That is going to be run down by Santana. He just got under it, did Polanco. Santana makes the play. 3 up and 3 down. Beautiful catch by Ryan Braun to start the inning. Bottom of the third inning. A reminder that weekdays don't miss America's pregame as Mike and Molly, our version of Mike and Molly. They bring you live reports from around the country, get the latest from NFL training camps, and get you ready for a full night of MLB action. 4 p.m. Central on Fox Sports 1. It's America's pregame. It always streams live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Adam Lind, who drove in 2 runs with a double his first time up. Part of a 4-run first inning for the Brewers. Lind, Davis, and Santana. First 3 up. Pirates put the shift on for Adam Lind with 3 infielders on the right side. Pirates are hoping Garrett Cole can get it together on the mound, but if he can't, they have plenty of reinforcements down there. And
10 relievers in the bullpen. Yeah, they can go on all night. 10 relief pitchers, and they got 8 extra players on the bench.
Adam Lind draws the walk. So he's had 2 good at-bats against Cole. He draws a leadoff walk here in the 3rd inning. I was looking at the Pirates bullpen, and just as I was about to say there's a pitcher getting loose, that is not the case. Well, he is getting loose, I guess, but he's working with the towel.
Yeah, just getting loose. Archimedes Caminero.
So what does the towel do for you?
Just gives you a little bit of tension as you use your arm. I mean, a little bit of that wind resistance with the towel. Way of loosening yourself up.
The old towel drill. I hadn't seen the old towel drill in a while.
Pete Ladd, remember Pete Ladd, former Brewer?
Sure.
He used to get ready initially with a big shot put, a 16-pound shot put. To kind of rotate his shoulder, his arm, and his shoulder, get loose with that shot put. Not recommended these days.
That was a Mike Marshall thing.
Bigfoot can handle it.
Former Cy Young Award winner Mike Marshall had the shot put.
Techniques and they've changed over the years.
Yeah.
You don't need to be carrying a 16-pound shot put on the road.
Who used to hold the softball? Contreras. Remember he used the split grip on a softball,
right,
to keep his fingers limbered up. 1-2 to Davis is in the dirt. Count even to 2-2.
I want to say Brian Harvey used to do that as well.
Yeah.
Former Angels closer. I think Brian Harvey, when he spread his 2 fingers apart, he could have had 2 softballs in there.
Wow.
He and Willie Frazier, 2 pitchers on the Angels back in those days.
He's a bit double jointed maybe. Davis reaches out. Oh, there's a great catch by Walker. That's going to turn into 2. Lind took off. He thought that was into center field. And that is an easy double play. It was a terrific catch by Neil Walker over the shoulder. The double play part was the easy part.
Yeah, the perfectly timed leap. He goes back, and right at the top of his leap, he's able to grab it, and Adam Lind is an easy out at first base.
There aren't many 6'3" second basemen out there.
A good leap, perfectly timed, and able to haul it in.
There's Santana now, wearing number 16 on his back. I wonder if Aramis Ramirez is looking down, saying, "Man, I've hardly been gone. You already gave my number away." The number Ramirez wore here for 3+ years.
Out of sight, out of mind, right?
Tomorrow's starter, who will make his major league debut for the Brewers, Zach Davies. He'll be wearing number 27. Carlos Gomez's number. Well, so they had the uniforms there. You might as well just change the last name and keep them active.
Only 7 numbers up there that'll never be used again.
I don't think Zach Davies is filling out Carlos Gomez's jersey like he did, though. He's got a big day tomorrow, that kid. Got his family here. Excited for him. Major league debuts are special, especially when you're a starting pitcher and there's build up towards it. He'll get a good look at the Pirates today. Brewers were balancing whether to keep Davies, keep him in the dugout as Santana pulls one foul. But you're always debating, do you bring a kid up right away, let him start the game, get it over with, compared to letting him sit on it, maybe the nerves build up. But I think they feel good about Davies and his composure and the fact that he could actually benefit from a day in the big leagues, get him settled, let him watch the Pirates at the plate. A very studious pitcher.
It'll be the fourth debut for a Brewers starter this year, right? You had Tyler Wagner, Cravey, Youngman, and now Davies.
And Davies and Santana are two of the trade pieces the Brewers will feature in the month of September, coming from different organizations. Santana coming from the Astros, one of the 4 players from the Astros in the Gomez Fires deal. Davies coming to the Brewers from the Orioles in the Gerardo Parra deal. Fly ball to right. And Polanco will make the catch, and that will end the inning. Scoreless inning, first of the night for Garrett Cole.
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, a 5-0 lead, and there is a look at the rookie Zach Davies, the 22-year-old, getting ready to make his major league debut tomorrow. And he was recalled from AAA Colorado Springs, but was acquired from the Orioles in the trade with Gerardo Parra at the trade deadline. And Davies is probably the opposite of Jimmy Nelson, not a big power pitcher. Is a command guy who relies on his fastball and his changeup. Says he really focused on that command starting as a junior in high school. Says he always played against older, bigger guys, so he just said, I needed to find ways to get people out. So pitches with a lot of command, and very much looking forward to making that big league debut tomorrow.
And it gives the Brewers the most baby-faced manager in baseball and the most baby-faced starting pitcher in Major League Baseball.
I don't think he's going to get a whole lot of sleep tonight.
There was a great scene before the game here today. His parents arrived. He popped out of the dugout in uniform, and I assume that was their first glimpse of Zach in a Major League uniform on a Major League field. And then look at that. She just breaks out into tears, and the little brother, and that's a really cool scene, and they're going to have a lot to think about and a lot to worry about tomorrow. It's one thing to have a son as a position player make his Major League debut, but as a starting pitcher,
yeah,
it can be agonizing.
Yeah, but how nice is that? I mean, not just Zach Davies is able to finally get to the big leagues, but the family is very actively involved all the way from the beginning. 6, 7, 8 years old, these guys start, and carting these guys around and living and dying with every win and loss.
And we'll look forward to that tomorrow. He'll be making his debut against the Pirates. And there they are. The family.
Calm tonight.
Jumping into the ice cream early. That's a good call. America's Dairyland, you know. Starling Marte leading the way in the fourth. Grounded back to Nelson in the first inning. Nelson has 5 ground ball outs. He's got 2 strikeouts and 2 outs in the air.
Yeah, unlike his start against the Indians, he's been ahead of just about every hitter tonight. Seems like every time you look up, he's 1 and 2 on somebody.
Long battle here between Nelson and Marte. 2-2 the count. And a ground ball to short. Segura takes care of Marte for out number 1. And it is now time for you to tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag WisDataStrongFan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. 1 away for Nelson. Here is Andrew McCutchen, who has the lone Pirate hit tonight. He ripped a double in the first inning to right center.
Now, there are a lot of tough outs in baseball, and a number of them in the National League Central Division. Joey Votto and Anthony Rizzo, but for the Brewers, not too many guys that are a tougher out than Andrew McCutchen. Yeah, throughout the years,
especially here at Miller Park, where he has a lifetime batting average of .345.
Batting average at .306 this year. On base percentage 100 points higher than that, so he's patient at the plate.
McCutchen has put himself back into the MVP conversation. There's a bender in there for a strike. Little slider from Nelson. I'd say right now it's Bryce Harper and Paul Goldschmidt. I'd give the nod to Goldschmidt as we enter the final full month of the season, just because the numbers are massive. Whoa, up and in he goes. McCutchen takes a seat. Again, one thing about the Pirates, not only do they stand on top of the plate, and there's a lot of the Brewers do it as well. It is a style of hitting, but it is a diving style of hitting. So the first move is down toward the plate, and this happens a lot. Very similar to what happened to Carlos Gomez quite often. And
McCutchen's been hit by 11 pitches this year. You can see where that back foot is. He stands close to the plate.
And you have to go inside on Andrew McCutchen. You have to. He's so quick. So this high and in pitch that dropped him from above is right on the inside line of the batter's box.
It's inside, but the way he approaches his at bats makes it a little bit further inside.
Full count. 1 man out. And McCutchen fouls it away. He's such a good hitter. It's almost impossible to get a fastball by him.
Yeah, Pirates have been hit by 75 pitches this year. Next closest 61, the Cubs.
Well, anytime you see hitters wear those braces on the elbow, on the lead elbow, that's usually a good indication. Up and in, and a swing and a miss. Nelson strikes him out and went right to McCutchen's power. Well, that gives you a good idea that Nelson's on his A game tonight.
Yeah, get it in and down. He's going to give it a ride somewhere, but right there, up and in, a little bit different, right above the belt. Able to sneak it by him.
Third strikeout for Nelson.
Yeah, that's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that time from Jimmy.
Ramirez takes a strike. Oh, and 2. Well, the addition of Ramirez, Jody Mercer was injured. It allowed Clint Hurdle to move Gong over to shortstop. Josh Harrison can certainly play third base. Was an all-star there last year. Ramirez has essentially been the everyday guy for Clint Hurdle at third base. They made the trade. They want the experienced bat in there.
Hey, Harrison spent some time on the disabled list, and he's been in only 84 games this year. 23 RBIs.
Ligament damage in his thumb. Those are difficult to come back from, even though he's back. You know, hand injuries and hitters aren't a great combination.
And the one good year and got a nice contract out of it.
And while he was an everyday third baseman last year, Josh Harrison, he's back into that utility role that he was a couple of seasons ago. Ramirez is the everyday guy, and a swing and a miss. Nelson strikes him out on a slider. Back-to-back Ks of McCutchen and Ramirez. Jimmy Nelson threw 4 innings of shutout baseball.
Miller Park on Sunday, September 20th. The Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds. All fans will get a Scooter Gennett Garden Gnome courtesy of Waterstone Bank. To reserve your spot, go to brewers.com/tickets. Nice bubble by Scooter.
It's looking good, man.
Pretty creative. That's pretty good work.
I like to give him a little life. These
There's
inanimate objects.
no mailing it in for you, is there?
Segura Takes a strike.
Having a garden gnome just kind of surface into the shot.
This might be my favorite garden gnome of the year.
And why would that be?
I like the whole setup.
You like the bubble?
I like the hat. I like the bubble. I like the way he's holding the bat. He's a little chunkier than Scooter Gennett actually is. But I think that's, part of the whole gnome thing.
Right. They're supposed to be a little chunky.
He's got a little bit of a boiler going. Chopper over to third base. Ramirez will make the play on Segura for out number 1.
Nice of you to leave me out of that comparison. You were thinking about it, weren't you?
I was.
See, I could see it in your face.
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
You showed real good restraint.
I only get one shot at you a night.
Is that it?
That's our agreement. And the details are really great because he's got the number 2 in his bat. The knob of his bat.
Yeah.
His number. I like that. See, the beauty is in the details. See, there's the number 2 right there. Can't really see it. Maybe you can. Got to have a big screen TV. He's got the little beard, little goatee working. Into right field, hit well again, and that's over the head of Polanco. Elian Herrera with his second double. Hit one over the head of McCutchen his last time up in the second inning. This time he gets Polanco. And a 1-out double for Herrera, who's 2 for 2.
Yeah, keep swinging the bat like that. You might see a Elian Herrera gnome next year. There's a fastball in. It was supposed to be away. You can see Cervelli set up on the outside corner, missed the entire width of the plate, and he has put a charge into another one. Herrera with another double.
Well, Jimmy Nelson with a runner at second base. Ground ball. Second baseman Walker for the second out. They made a little contact, advanced the runner. Good on both fronts. And Nelson delivers Herrera to third with 2 away. Top of the order coming up. Speaking of the gnome, here comes Scooter Gennett. Brewers lead at 5-0, scoring 4 runs in the first. Braun, Lind, and Segura with RBIs. Lucroy drove one in the second inning with 2 outs. And now Herrera at third for Gennett. Again, swinging at that first pitch.
He just can't get the bat head out on Cole. He's got a base hit, though. 97, the last fastball. You know what they say, good hitters will tell you there's more hits on the handle than there is on the end of the bat. Stay on the baseball, you have a better chance of a base hit.
Activity in the Pirates pen. Jared Hughes getting loose. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gennett. And he's late again. He fouls it away. 1-2. Yep, shaking his head. He just can't quite get it going quick enough, which makes you very susceptible to the breaking ball. Just try to dial it up a notch. Next thing you know, you're chasing one in the dirt.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're better off, you're being late on the fastball, because then you have a chance with a breaking pitch. You speed your bat up. It's awfully hard to slow it down.
And Gennett getting closer, but again fouling it off. Brewers have a chance to add one to it. Maybe get into the bullpen. 1-2. And there is the breaking ball. Gennett fouls it away.
Yeah, see, late on the fastball, still have a chance on the breaking pitch. That's why it's so important for guys, even when you don't throw hard, to be able to come inside and keep hitters honest, keep them away from that outside corner. Start having them think inside, you have them on the breaking stuff.
Jeanette does pull this one to Alvarez, flips it to Cole, and that will retire the side. Brewers come up empty in the fourth. 5-0 Milwaukee through 4 innings of play in Milwaukee.
As we head to the 5th here at Miller Park, and fans, when you come out to the ballpark, be sure to continue to purchase your 50/50 raffle tickets when visiting Miller Park. You can look for the 50/50 raffle ticket sellers in the bright orange t-shirts. Tickets are just $2 each, and one lucky fan will take home 50% of the raffle sales for the day. It's a great way to support the community and also take home a little cash.
All right, Sophia, here we go to the 5th inning. Fans have the fans out tonight. Steamy inside Miller Park. Good baseball weather.
Got up to 91 around my house today. How was it out in Lake Country?
Yeah, you know, it was about the same. I didn't spend much outside time today.
Working hard inside.
Yeah, a lot of indoor activity today. Gong swinging at the first pitch. Sends one deep into left center field. It's off the wall. Santana will play it off the wall, and that is a leadoff double for Jung-Ho Kang. And jumping on that first offering by Nelson. It's only the second hit of the game. It's the second double.
Man, both of them hit pretty hard. Yeah, fastball in, and I think Kang thought he hit that one out of the ballpark. You see the way he stands there and watches it, but didn't quite get all of it. Right at the base of the wall and in with a leadoff double.
So McCutchen with a double in the first. That came with 2 outs. He was stranded there. And now Kang leads off the 5th with a double. Brewers up 5-0 here in the 5th inning.
Kang's had a nice year. He really has. He's been swinging the bat well. Hitting near 290.
Neil Walker takes a ball high. Kang's success this year has opened up a major door for Korean-born position players. Kang was the first player to ever be posted for, meaning a major league team had to pay a dollar amount to his Korean baseball league team that he was playing for. A posting fee. It's common in Japan. Walker back up the middle, a base hit. Sounded like he broke his bat. They're going to send Kang. Santana plays very deep, and that'll be an RBI single for Neil Walker, and the Pirates are on the board in the 5th.
Yep, got behind 1-0, and Walker, as you mentioned, didn't hit it all that hard off the end of the bat and into center field. But yeah, the fact that Santana played so deep, no chance to throw out Kang at home plate or even hold him there at third base.
So the first run of the game for the Pirates. Walker with RBI number 55. And here's Pedro Alvarez. Big pop from Alvarez. 21 homers this year. Got a chance to hit 30 again with a good finishing month.
Yeah, one of two players that have 20 or more home runs in that lineup, McCutchen and Alvarez. Not a big home run hitting ball club. I think a lot of that has to do with PNC Park. Big gaps.
Alvarez led the National League in homers 2 years ago. That was his all-star season when he had 36 home runs. He also led the league in strikeouts that year. Hit 18 last year, 21 homers this year. And that one is a mile high out to Davis in left.
And just missed that one.
Walker's going to tag, and he will stop halfway. So the first out, and it keeps Walker at first base. And that'll send us to our carsoup.com trivia question. Give you a multiple choice today. Since 1900, what is the record for most no-hitters in a season? Jake Arrieta of the Cubs throwing number 6 of the season on Sunday against the Dodgers. Mike Fiers no-hit the Dodgers 9 days prior to that.
Yeah. Multiple choice. That's the first this year.
Well, it is September and we're getting into the late season. We don't want to tax the audience too much this time of year. They need all the energy that they have to finish strong. I've already forgotten the question, though.
How many no-hitters since I forget what year it was?
Inside to Cervelli. Did you ever catch a no-hitter, Rock? Of course he did. The only one in Brewers history.
Yeah, back in '87, a lot of great things happened that season, except for postseason. Would have been nice.
I have to give a attaboy to our colleague Lynn Casper of the Cubs. So you might remember Sunday's game was a nationally televised game. Lynn Casper, who does television for the Cubs, was not on the air that day, but he was with the team. So he did, I think, a couple of innings of radio. But then Arrieta throws the no-hitter. And Lynn Casper, as a great teammate, went down into the dugout. You know, radio, you don't travel with a sideline reporter. There's no Sophia on Cubs radio. There's no Sophia anywhere, but especially Cubs radio. So Lynn went down and interviewed Jake Arrieta for the Cubs listening audience on the radio. And not only did he grab Jake Arrieta, but partner, you'd be proud of him for this. And Cervelli, that is to Lind. Is it caught in the air? It is. And that'll be a double play to end the inning. He grabbed Arrieta and Miguel Montero, the catcher.
Classy guy.
Classy man, that Lynn Casper. Well done. Big boys are coming up. Brewers lead at 5-1. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham. 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. Well, the Brewers have chased starter Garrett Cole, his shortest outing of the season. 4 innings tonight, 5 runs, and Jared Hughes will come out of the Pittsburgh bullpen to start the 5th inning.
And 5 runs in four innings. Only the second time this year that Cole has gone less than 5. Last time was June 24th. 4 2/3 innings. So the Pirates are going to need their 10 relievers tonight. Jared Hughes first up.
And Lucroy will lead off with 2 hits tonight, including an RBI in the 2nd inning. The 1st inning, Lucroy with a base hit into left center field. Scored a run that inning, and then with 2 outs and a runner at 3rd in the 2nd, he just punched one through the hole at 1st and 2nd for an RBI. And Lucroy rolls 1 foul. So Lucroy is 2 for 2 tonight. 16 hits in his last 33 at-bats. And you're right, Rock. He's at .260 for a batting average as you see his night presented by Wendy's.
Yep, everything's starting to fall for him. It's a hard .260.
Been able to raise that batting average 25 points in 33 at-bats in September. Meaning this late in the season able to do that. He missed 38 games early in the season in April and on into May. With a broken toe on his left foot. Broken big toe.
Yeah, he got off to a very bad start, and then he came back. He started to find it a little bit, but hit into some bad luck. A lot of line drives caught. Now they're starting to fall. And it's starting to go to right field again.
A roller out to Gong. And Lucroy is retired for the first time tonight.
Yeah, Jared Hughes, the sinker baller. He's induced 9 double play balls out of the bullpen this year. And last pitched on the 25th, August 25th, an inning and 2/3 scoreless.
And that is his role. He typically comes in with runners on base late in games, and Clint Hurdle hopes to get that double play to get out of an inning. This is a little different situation here. Hurdle just trying to stop the bleeding for now, so he begins an inning. And he got the big 3 up, so I'm sure in Hurdle's mind, and again, when you're in a September call-up scenario and you have all these relievers ready, you can use Jared Hughes against the Brewers' best 3 hitters in the 5th inning to try to keep the game close. I'm not sure he would make this move yesterday, even prior to expanded rosters.
Yeah, you don't really have to use any one of your relievers too much. Of course, in this day and age, I mean, even before September, you've got 8 relievers down in that bullpen. Most teams go with 8. Gives you only 4 position players on the bench. You find yourself a little bit short-handed late in the game on the bench, but you need the extra relievers these days.
Adam Lind on deck. Three and 1 to Braun. Down and away, ball 4. A base runner for the Brewers with 1 out. That's why managing in the National League is fascinating. Baseball managing itself is fascinating, but you think about the scenario in the National League. Remember, the pitcher's spot is due to lead off for the Pirates in the 6th inning. So you're only asking 1 inning out of whoever you choose to pitch in this inning. And you have 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Lucroy, Braun, and Lind. So Clint Hurdle saying, all right, this is the chance that I'm going to try to snuff out any kind of big night offensively, a bigger night offensively. Maybe send that message to his hitters that, look, we're still in it.
Yeah.
It's Miller Park. It's a hitter-friendly ballpark.
And I think you bring one of your better guys in, given where the Brewers are in the batting order.
It's good managing. Braun takes off, pitches inside. Did that hit him? I don't think so. No, that's a straight steal. The ball somehow missed Lind. Stolen base number 19 for Ryan Braun. He is one away from another 2020 season.
Yeah, just missed the arm. I'm not sure how it didn't hit the forearm of Adam Lind, but a tough pitch to throw on for Cervelli.
Got a runner in the scoring position now on the stolen base by Braun. Lind drove in 2 in the first inning, including Braun, who scored from first on that double.
Remember, pretty good throwing arms in the outfield, particularly in left and right. Braun with good speed, but they're playing deep out there. Everybody except McCutcheon's deep in the outfield.
Inside again, right over the shoe tops. 2-2 the count on Lind. Adam now with 73 runs batted in after his 2 RBI double. Walked his last time up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jared Hughes taking a long look at Braun. And look out, man, oh man. That hit an empty seat, thank goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody, you couldn't get out of the way of that even if you're watching.
Well, that was a shot, right?
Just to the left of the backstop.
Well, Cervelli wants to chat a minute with Hughes. Maybe changing the signs here. Braun's been out at second base for a while. Who knows?
Well, you don't see a whole lot of signs stealing out at second base these days, but I wouldn't put it past Ryan.
And a cue shot foul.
Yeah, that's something that happened quite a bit back, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And the Brewers, when I came up, were great at that. Picking up the signs from the catcher, figuring them out. First sign after 2, go to the scoreboard. Second sign, those types of things, and you can relay them to a hitter.
Back up the middle. There's a man there, though, on the shift. Gung will make the play. And Lind is retired. Braun does advance. 2 men are out. Here's Davis with 2 away. What was the most creative way to deliver a sign from second base, Rob?
Well, first of all, you had to let the hitter know that you had him, right? So you might do something, maybe grab the top of your helmet or take your helmet off or put it back on. And then, if you had him, you might, you move your front foot first for a fastball, back foot first for a breaking pitch. That's an example of what you might do. You can't make it too obvious. Pitchers get a little bit upset when you start doing that stuff, and catchers are watching for that.
Yeah.
Guys out at second base.
Davis chops one foul.
Makes hitting a lot easier when you know it's coming.
Yeah, for sure.
Some guys don't like it, though. Big Spike never liked to know him.
Really?
Cecil Cooper didn't like to know.
Gorman Thomas would neglect the signs. Huh?
Right, yeah, he didn't want to know.
Just get a little overeager? Or?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know a fastball's coming, you have a tendency, unless you're real patient, to swing at it wherever, didn't matter where it was.
2 balls and a strike on Davis. And that one's in there. We had a guy in college when I was in college, and he was so excited that he got the sign. The signal was that he would straighten his right arm. And he was so excited that he got it, he was just straightening very emphatically.
Yeah.
His arm was like straight down, like, look at me. Timeout called. Ground ball to third. Ramirez will make the play, and that will retire the side.
Guy get drilled.
I got drilled.
Yeah.
Exactly. Heads to the Pirates. Jake Arrieta, the aforementioned no-hitter Sunday, and what a performance it was. One of the more dominating no-hitters in recent memory for Jake Arrieta. 2-0 Cubs win over the Dodgers. And I saw a nice note there as Jeff Decker pinch hitting in the right center with a base hit, and he's jumping on the first pitch. Dodgers not only sent the pitching rubber, but some dirt and some different artifacts from the game. They mailed that to, or sent that some way, maybe on the team charter to the Cubs for Arrieta. Carsuit.com trivia talking about no-hitters. Most no-hitters in a season. 7, 8, or 9. It was 2012 when there were 7 no-hitters. Happened in 1990 and 1991. So there have been 6 no-hitters this season. And the no-hitter is back in a big way now in this decade. Let's call it the teens. There have been 47 no-hitters are projected on this pace. So in the 1980s, when you caught Nieves' no-hitter, that was the only one, by the way, in '87. The only no-hitter of the year in Major League Baseball.
I knew that.
There were only 13 no-hitters in the entire decade of the 80s. So if no-hitters keep coming at this pace, there will be 47.
And we're only halfway through.
So the No-hitter is alive and well and not as rare as it used to be.
And a ton of near misses. How many no-hitters have been lost in the 9th inning? Verlander just lost one.
Scherzer lost one.
Yeah.
Here in Milwaukee. Now, even the 60s, in 1968, known as the year of the pitcher, had 33 no-hitters in the decade of the 60s. And this decade, the teens to shatter that. Unless they lower the mound and
again
tighten up the strike zone. But the game's a better game when it's a well-pitched game generally.
Right.
It's just a better game. It flows better. Runs are more important at a premium. A swing and a miss, and Nelson strikes out Polanco. So his 5th strikeout.
Going right after him. Fastball. Fastball away. Polanco pulls his head, trying to pull it. Fastball away. Throws it right by him. It's interesting how you go from 8 walks in one start. You go with the next start, you don't walk anybody. Incredible turnaround.
Nelson, prior to that 8-walk game against the Indians, had gone 4 starts combining for 8 walks. And he was pitching deep into most of those games too.
Must have been the weather.
And just one of those days, kind of like the day that Garrett Cole had today. He's one of the best pitchers in the game, but he just did not have a good day today. He gave up 4 in the first. Brewers added 1 in the second. He goes 4 innings and 5 earned runs. One gone for Starling Marte, who's 0 for 2 at 2 groundouts tonight. Doesn't bite on that slider from Nelson.
Such a good fastball hitter. If he lays off that slider that's off the plate, he becomes very dangerous. 15 home runs this year. It's always been his weakness, that slider off the plate.
Jeff Decker at first had a pinch hit single to lead off the inning. Hitting for Hughes. And Marte, a swing and a miss. He took a rip. 2-2 the count.
And now is when he becomes vulnerable to that slider off the plate when he's got the count. And he's got 2 strikes on him. He's trying to protect. The defensive mode.
That was an emergency swing to stay alive. And a ground ball cutting across is Herrera. Bobbles. The throw is just in time. Scooter had to hit the eject button to get out of there. That little bobble by Herrera made that one close. No chance you're going to turn 2 on Marte. So the Brewers fortunate to get an out.
Yeah, Decker got down that line pretty well. There you see it, but able to recover. Almost dropped it. And just did get him at second base. You can see Doug Eddings in perfect position to make that call.
2 outs now. Marte at first for Andrew McCutchen, who can tighten this game up quickly. Had a double to right in the first inning. Nelson had a long battle with him in the fourth. He struck him out as Marte takes off and steals second. He picked the right pitch to run on. Breaking ball in the dirt.
They had 26 stolen bases. He leads the team. The Pirates have 2 guys in the top 10 in stolen bases, Marte and Polanco.
Both hitting ahead of McCutchen on most nights. The league leader in stolen bases is Billy Hamilton with 54. And he's been on the disabled list for a little bit. McCutchen, another one got in on his hands. And Jeanette will make the call. He's got it for the out. Jimmy Nelson pitching very well tonight against the contending Pirates. Brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Back at Miller Park, 5-1. The Brewers lead the Pirates. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Another pitching change for Clint Hurdle. Rodimus Lees is on the mound for Pittsburgh. And he will face Domingo Santana to start the inning.
Yeah, one of the September call-ups for the Pittsburgh Pirates came up today from Indy. Went 4-5 with a 140 earned run average. 16 appearances, 10 starts. Had 74 strikeouts and 64 in the 3rd inning. So he's got good stuff out of the pen.
Santana leading the way. Then Segura, then Herrera. Santana looking for his first hit. And a big fastball by Lees is in there at 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, he was on the opening day roster, then got designated for assignment in May, and then here he is back in the big leagues. Yeah, same story as Ilian Herrera.
It is impressive how the Pirates have just produced one hard thrower after another. They got a lot of velocity in their minor league system. That was a shot Cervelli took. Looked like got him right on the shoulder.
Yeah. Those feel good in September. It's hard to DFA a guy throws 98 miles an hour, though, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, honestly. Basically, you're giving up on him is when you do that. But he's here. He's back.
Look out. Oh, man, right on the knee at 96 miles an hour. Santana hit by a pitch. That had to sting a little bit.
Yeah, nothing new for Pirates pitchers. These guys drill a lot of guys, a lot of hitters. 64th hit batter by Pittsburgh pitching. That one got him on the back of the leg. There's no chance for Santana to get out of the way of that. Ooh, right on the back of the calf.
So a base runner to start the inning for Gene Segura. It's a pretty easy conclusion to make, but a guy who throws this hard and yet hasn't made his way to the big leagues consistently, he's obviously got control problems.
Right. Good numbers down in the minor leagues, though. He made 10 starts, earned run average under 2. Throwing strikes somewhere down in the minor leagues.
He averaged over 9 strikeouts. There goes a runner, and a hit and run is on. It's going to be caught by Walker.
Second time.
And that'll be a double play. So with Santana on the move, easy double play for the Pirates.
Well, second time that's happened, and both times there was a ball hit the Walker. First time Lynn got doubled up. That was bad base running. There's nothing that Santana can do about that. He's running on the pitch. That was pretty close to a very nice hit and run. A little bit higher, a little bit right or left. And we have first and third, nobody out.
And here is Herrera with 2 outs. So this year in the minor leagues, Liz allowed a little over 5 walks per 9 innings, which is, or with the Pirates, I should say. And in his 11 games in the big leagues, he allowed over 10 hits per 9 innings. And those numbers just don't jive with the guy that throws this hard without some giant hole, command, and maybe a lack of a second pitch. But to his credit, he went back to the minor leagues and had very good numbers down there. And here he is as his September call-up. His walk rate down in AAA this year, about 3.5 walks per 9 innings. And nearly 10.5 strikeouts per 9. Never cease to be amazed by major league hitters and what they can do and how they learn, how they make adjustments.
Cream of the crop. A lot of good hitters down in the minor leagues, but it's the guys that can make those adjustments. They can keep that concentration for 162 games. That's how you get to the big leagues. It's a matter of concentration. At this level, it's a mental game.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Herrera. And a late swing. Down he goes. That one came in at 99. First time Herrera's been retired. A scoreless inning for Lees. Brewers jump starting early against Garrett Cole, and the Pirates, the Pittsburgh ace, giving up 4 runs in the first inning. RBIs from Braun and Lind, who drove in a pair with a double, and then Gene Segura had a 2-out RBI, and then in the second inning, Jonathan Lucroy with a ribby to make it 5-0. Jimmy Nelson's been quite a story tonight. Nelson is through 6. He's given up just 1 run on 4 Pittsburgh hits. Has 5 strikeouts thus far, and he's back out there to start his 7th inning of work, and a nice bounce back outing for Jimmy Nelson after his last time out in Cleveland.
He's been pretty much working ahead just about every hitter tonight. He has not walked a batter as of yet. And pitch count in pretty good shape.
Aramis Ramirez will lead off. And Sophia, the former Brewer, back in Milwaukee and back in the uniform where he started his career so many years ago.
Yeah, and Clint Hurdle, the Pirates manager, said he's really been a welcome addition to his team, jokingly saying he's brought up the average age of our team, but said he's also just brought a very veteran, quiet leadership. He says he's got a great dugout presence, has done a nice job anchoring the lineup, especially behind McCutchen, and just said, he finally got the opportunity he wanted to be here in September to finish where he started, as you said. So they've really enjoyed having Ramirez on their team.
Yeah, all the things the Brewers have said about Ramirez for 3 years. I mean, you don't know what a guy's really like until he's on your team. You get labeled, and sometimes unjustly. And Ramirez has done nothing but be a professional in his time with Milwaukee.
Well, there was even an instance a few weeks ago where Ramirez, actually about a month ago, right after the trade, but Aramis started taking ground balls at first base. There's been some discussions that he would play first base. This is as Josh Harrison was soon to return from the disabled list. And I asked Clint Hurdle about that, and he goes, I explained I was not going to tell him to take ground balls at first, and we might be an option there. I said, this is our need, and this is what we might be able to use, maybe a platoon with he and Alvarez. And he goes, you know what, I'll do it. I've never played there. I don't know what it'll be like, but I'll give it a shot and see how it goes.
Yeah, last season, last month of his career, why not, right? Do what he can to help this team get to the postseason. What do you got to lose, right?
2-1 to Gong. There's a strike, 2-2 the count. Gong hit a double off the wall in the 5th inning. Scored the lone Pittsburgh run. Yeah, right to Jeanette. Little jam shot for out number 2.
Hey, just a reminder that at Miller Park, Friday nights are student nights. At all Friday home games, high school and college students can purchase $10 Terrace Reserved or $15 Lowe's Bleacher tickets. Plus, enjoy a special $3 pregame menu. For tickets, visit brewers.com/students.
Two quick outs for Jimmy Nelson. Here's Neil Walker now. And an RBI single in the 5th inning. Good idea. Walker's been swinging at the first pitch. Starts him with a big curveball. The difference maker for Nelson this year. That spike curveball he throws. That was a fastball at 94. It's 0-2.
Yeah, the Pirates were the first team to see that curveball during the regular season. His first start here at Miller Park.
Now, Pittsburgh has been the common opponent for Jimmy Nelson this season. In his career against the Pirates, this is his 5th start. He has an ERA under 2. His first 2 starts of the year were against the Pirates back in April. Very first start against them, he went 7 shutout innings here at Miller Park back on April 11th.
And had them scratching their head. Never saw that curveball before. His next start at Pittsburgh, we saw the Pirates early batting practice working on curveballs.
Yeah,
the
that's right.
curveball machine set up. Yeah, getting ready for the Jimmy Nelson curveball, and pitched well but lost.
Jimmy had never faced the Pirates in his career until this season. This is his 5th matchup of the year. Good curveball. Nice block back there by Lucroy. I noticed Lucroy's gone to the orange stickers on his fingernails. Those little paste on.
It's more of a summer color, isn't it?
It is. It's a nice color. It's a blaze orange. Jimmy Nelson should be able to see those.
There it is. You see it.
2-2 pitch. I did see Nelson squinting earlier in the game. So maybe that's why. I'm sure it is. Hey, Jonathan, nice hit. You're 2 for 2. Would you go put some stickers on your fingers?
Always makes a hitter a little uncomfortable when you see a pitcher squinting out there looking in for the sign.
That's a good call. Maybe that's all part of the game plan.
It's all
right?
gamemanship.
I can't see a thing. There's a called strike 3. Nelson strikes out Neil Walker, number 6, and he's through 7 innings, just 1 run allowed. Stretch time at Miller Park. It's the Brewers 5-1 over the Pirates. First inning, Brewers lead 5-1. Brewers Powerball home run count is now at 118. No home runs tonight, but Brewers got loose against Cincinnati over the weekend for a few homers, including Ryan Braun's top of the wall shot. 24 home runs for Braun leads the way. You got Davis and Lind with 17. Lucroy in there with 7. Lucroy hit 3 homers on the last road trip. Lees will continue. Shane Peterson pinch hitting for the Brew Crew. That'll end the night of Jimmy Nelson. 7 innings, 1 run. Good night for him.
Yeah, nice bounce back. You know, Willie Proth did the same thing on Sunday after a rough start in Cleveland.
Nelson with 7 innings, 8 strikeouts. 6 strikeouts, I beg your pardon.
You know, not including tonight. You know, the Brewers have won 9 of the last 12 starts for Jimmy Nelson. And he's been out there. I mean, he might not always be picking up wins, but you know, they win when he's out there for the most part.
He has certainly emerged as the Brewers' top pitcher. Wins and ERA. Peterson's been a good pinch hitter this year. He's 7 for 22 on the season. Has 5 runs batted in a pinch hitting role.
Hasn't been able to find that starting lineup too often as of late. Not with the way Domingo Santana has been swinging the bat.
He and Hernan Perez are the two that are having a hard time getting into the lineup right now.
You figure Perez might get a start at third base tomorrow with the left-hander Lock on the mound.
There's Perez, whom the Brewers acquired from the Tigers earlier this year. Swing and a miss. Lees strikes out Shane Peterson, his second K. 1 away here in the 7th. Fox Sports Wisconsin is proud to partner with Girls on the Run Greater Milwaukee to empower girls to be healthy and confident. Join us for the Girls on the Run Fall 5K on Sunday, November 15th. That's at the Bayshore Town Center in Glendale. To register, visit foxsportswisconsin.com. Click on the upcoming events tab. 1 away. Here is Jeanette. Scooter tonight is 1 for 3. Had that hit off Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole came in with a road ERA of 2.13, 3rd best in the National League. And after 5 runs in 4 innings tonight, that ERA to 2.55 on the road. And his overall ERA jumped from 2.44 to 2.64.
Goes up quickly, right? Goes down very slowly. Interesting that Corey Knebel getting loose. Usually in the 8th inning in a winning scenario. I guess the Brewers, with a 4-run lead, feeling Knebel's the guy in the 8th.
Two balls and a strike. Misses high. 3-1 to Jeanette. All bets are off this time of year. The Brewers are going to be trying to find out about certain pitchers, certain players, in certain situations. Top of the strike zone to run the count full. Foul pop. That's going to end up in the seats.
Scooter out there thinking, I just can't get the bat head out tonight. Of course, he's not the only one. We have Garrett Cole. He's getting it up there at 97. Lees has hit 99 tonight.
Lees pitching in his 2nd inning. Couple of Ks already. Jeanette slices one left field, hit pretty well, but Marte will fetch it for out number 2. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong Fan photo of the game. It comes from Pam. Thanks, Pam. Good picture. Don't forget to use that hashtag #WisDataStrongFan. You'll have a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile.
That's the 2nd biggest baseball glove I've ever seen.
What's the 1st biggest?
One in San Fran.
Oh yeah, the one in left field.
That was a Get Smart line, you know. Don Adams. Yeah. You don't have too many opportunities to quote Get Smart.
I know.
In a baseball game.
I thought you'd appreciate that.
That was one.
Strike to Lucroy. Make it 0-2 now. You've been on your game tonight with your generational references.
You remember Get Smart?
Oh, sure. Into right field, hit well. Polanco plays deep, and he's got it for the out. 3 up, 3 down inning. To the 8th we go. It is 5-1 Milwaukee. Coming up against Corey Knebel. Miller Lite What's on Tap. Tomorrow we're on the air at 6:30. Brewers live pregame show. Jeff Locke, the left-hander, against Zach Davies, who will be making his major league debut tomorrow. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, big velocity with both starters tonight. Not so much tomorrow.
Brewers got Davies from the Orioles in the Gerardo Parra deal. As you see, Knebel getting loose. Baltimore, by the way, lost again tonight to Tampa Bay. They've lost 6 straight, and they've lost 12 out of 13 games. That looked like a team that was ready to make a run. I thought they made a really smart move in acquiring Parra, and he's played well for them, but sometimes you just never know. And the Orioles are crumbling here as we enter September.
Yeah, bad time to get on a losing streak.
So Knebel will face Pedro Alvarez to start the 8th inning. Milwaukee swept the Pirates in the first series after the All-Star break. Trying to make it 4 in a row against the Pirates. And at this point, the Brewers have won 5 of their last 6 against Pittsburgh. Oh, that ball's not coming back. Pedro Alvarez, that's what he can do. Just huge power. And Alvarez makes this a 3-run ball game. It's now 5-2. Alvarez with his 22nd home run of the season.
Yeah, and that's why you can put up with maybe some subpar defense at first base and some strikeouts. He sent that one quickly out of here into the Toyota territory. Yeah, Knebel got behind with a curveball, then went in with the fastball, and Alvarez turned it around and knocked it out of here. That was a no-doubter.
Aren't many hitters that can produce that sound. A strike to Cervelli.
Yeah, fastball at 94 right after a curveball missed the strike zone.
And another one in there, 95 at the knees. 0-2 the count on Stewart. I beg your pardon. Remember, Cervelli was hit in the mash by that foul ball a couple of innings ago. Stewart came on to catch last inning. And down he goes. Well, Knebel comes back with purpose. On 3 pitches, he strikes out Stewart.
Hey, Friday, September 18th is Fan Appreciation Weekend. That's the 18th through Sunday the 20th. The Brewers host the Reds, and all fans will enjoy various prizes and giveaways all throughout the weekend. For details, visit brewers.com/fan appreciation.
Another pinch hitter in this 9th spot, Travis Snyder. And a strike. Knebel pouring him in now. Snyder comes back to the mix as the rosters expand. At one point, that right field job was his job. Tough to break in that Pirates outfield these days. Snyder strikes out on 3 pitches. Yep. So after the homer, 6 pitches has produced 2 strikeouts for Knebel.
Yep, fastball, curveball, fastball out of the strike zone to get Snyder. He got Stewart 0-2 and threw him the curveball.
Top of the order now, Gregory Polanco. And strike 1. That's 7 consecutive strikes from Knebel. And a curveball that is foul. 8 in a row. Corey giving up a home run. Actually 9 strikes in a row, I beg your pardon. And the 0-2. There's the ball. But not a bad idea, though, just to see if he chased.
Yeah, don't need to throw a strike. Maybe swing at it just like Snyder did.
And he got him. That was impressive. So after the home run, Knebel comes back and strikes out the side.
Leading Pittsburgh 5-2. Milwaukee trying to win for the 7th time in 13 meetings against this supposed playoff-bound team. But Jimmy Nelson on the mound, the bounce back, we talked about it, and he bounced back in a huge way. Davey, 8 walks allowed in his last start, none today.
Oh, boy, he was in total control. You talking about that's a big bounce back because he had great command of all of his pitches, had a great idea of what he was doing out there, and really basically kept the Pirates at bay.
In 5 starts this season against Pittsburgh, his ERA 1.72, so he's enjoying tonight's game, no doubt. We'll see if the Brewers can hang on. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the Brewer crew, plus the newest Brewer, Zach Davies. He's ready to make his Major League debut. We'll set the stage for you coming up in just a couple of moments, Brian.
All right, thanks, Craig and Davey. There's Joakim Soria, acquired by the Pirates from the Tigers prior to the trade deadline. And making a very good bullpen even better with the addition of Soria, who is healthy and pitching well this year.
And his former closer, he did pick up a save this year for against the Cincinnati Reds. His first National League save back on August 2nd. Has been very good in his last 7 appearances. Allowed only 2 hits and no runs. Last pitched on Friday.
Soria was traded from the Rangers to the Tigers last year and had injury problems. Just really wasn't the kind of pitcher the Tigers hoped he would be. He had an oblique injury. Jam shot roller out to second base, and Braun is out. 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI and a walk for Braun. Well, we invite you to vote for your MVP and help us decide which Fox Sports Supports partner will be crowned the winner. The charity with the most votes at the end of this Brewer season will score big with a donation from Hupy and Abraham. Choose from American Heart Association of Wisconsin, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, or Fisher House, Wisconsin. To vote, go to foxsportswisconsin.com/supports. One away for Adam Lind, who had the key hit in the first inning. 2 RBI double, and it was smashed into the gap in left center.
Yeah, Brewers all their runs in the first 2 innings, 5 of them. Actually have not had a base hit since the 4th inning. Pirate bullpen has shut them down.
Had a walk in the 5th. There was a hit batter in the 6th, but the last hit was Herrera's double in that 4th with 1 away. A 4-run first off Garrett Cole. Added 1 in the 2nd on a Lucroy RBI. Lucroy, Segura, Lind, and Braun with the RBIs here tonight. Cole lasted 4 innings, giving up those 5 runs. Brewers got 7 innings, 1 run out of Jimmy Nelson tonight on just 4 hits. Down the left field line, that's going to slice. That is fair. Into the corner it goes. And Adam Lind with his 2nd double of the night. 2 for 3. Lind goes down the left field line, and a base runner in scoring position in this 8th inning.
And Lind had somewhat of a rough road trip, but he certainly snapped out of that. He's been swinging the bat pretty well. Yeah, Lind on a 3-1 pitch, got one out over the plate. Had Sunday off. Yesterday was a team day off, so a couple of days, and Adam Lind swinging it well again.
And here is Chris Davis, who's looking for his first hit. 0 for 3 tonight. Looked like he had a hit in the 3rd inning. Hit a little soft liner that was headed for right center, but Neil Walker reached up and made a beautiful over-the-shoulder catch to take a hit away from Davis, and actually turned it into a double play as Lind was off the bag at first at the time. Who had a big cut and wanted to hit a ball and a strike on Davis. Coming off a 10 home run month of August.
Do that again in September, you leave you a good impression.
He hit 7 home runs in the months leading up to August. He did miss a month with a knee injury, knee surgery actually. Had a torn meniscus. That was early in the year. That gets by Stewart, and that's going to allow Lynn to advance. He's at third now with one out.
And bring the infield in for the Pirates for sure. Want to cut that run down. They want to give the Brewers that 4-run lead back. There you see them. They're coming in. Man, it's got to put in play here.
One out, runner at third. Brewers lead by 3. Davis, little half swing. He's able to check it. Davis has 46 RBIs for the year, had 24 of those 46 in August.
Davis just barely able to stay alive on that really slow curveball at 78 miles an hour. And all the power, that's all well and good, but Chris Davis still feels as though he can be a 280, 290 hitter. A little disappointed still in batting average at 231. Maybe mixing a couple of singles in amongst all those homers.
Soria against Davis. Got a runner at third here. The Pirates trying to cut that run off with the infield in. And Davis takes ball 4. Good at bat. He draws the walk. It's a good way to get that on base percentage up. And Hurdle thinking about his next move. He does have a reliever ready in the bullpen. Got a young hitter coming up in Domingo Santana.
Yeah, I think he's just wondering how he wants to position his defense. Going to play it, kind of halfway up the middle. They know that Santana can run pretty well. That's not normal defense for a double play. Well, now they're going to move back.
Big opportunity for Santana. Santana has just 5 hits, but 3 of those have gone over the fence. Homered in his first game as a Brewer a couple of Fridays ago in Washington, D.C. Soria, when he was closing games for the Royals, he was a 2-time All-Star in Kansas City as a closer. And when he was going along at his best, he was one of the few closers that threw a curveball. He and John Axford here with the Brewers were the 2 guys throwing the curveball as opposed to the fastball slider combo.
A very difficult pitch to throw for a called strike, the big curveball. Axford always had a problem with it. Soria a little bit more consistent with a curveball for strikes. But Soria doesn't throw near as hard as Axford. Usually it's the big fastball up in the zone and the curveball.
Now Soria's lone postseason appearance came last year in Baltimore, and he gave up what proved to be the most pivotal hit in that series. The Orioles swept the Tigers. Remember, they beat all 3 of the Detroit aces: Scherzer, Verlander, and David Price. And Soria gave up a double to Delman Young that cleared the bases late in that game, and Baltimore ended up winning that game, and then they would not lose again. Soria never got in another game for the Tigers. He was not healthy, though. He was just coming back from an injury before the playoffs began. Pirates feel like he's healthy this time around.
Experience closing games. You've got, limited postseason experience. At least you've been there, and that's always helpful as you get down the stretch and into the postseason.
Yeah, while it's a bad memory, it's the rhythm of it. How to prepare for a postseason. Right now, the Pirates in the wild card 1 position. Cubs are in the wild card 2. And then the Giants are 5.5 back of the Cubs for that second spot. That's Scahill and Laframboise, who just got called back up. Both of those guys just added to the roster today. Pittsburgh started the day 5 games behind the Cardinals in the Central Division. St. Louis is trailing Washington 4-3 in the top of the 7th inning. Santana, swing and a miss. Down he goes on strikes.
And that curveball just, it was so bad it was good for Soria. Well, check it out. Watch the way this pitch. That curveball way up inside. It's not exactly where he wanted it, but Santana couldn't lay off.
And 2 men are out. Here is Segura now. Runners at the corners. If the Brewers fail to score, this is a save situation, and Francisco Rodriguez is getting loose. Coming off of a save Sunday. If the Brewers score, you figure Jeremy Jeffress would come in. That bends in for a strike. Ball and a strike on Segura.
Yeah, the Pirates had the big boys coming up in the 9th, too. 2, 3, 4 in the batting order.
Marte, McCutchen, and Ramirez. 1 and 2.
The curveball really makes the 90 miles an hour seem a lot quicker to the hitter, especially when he throws it up in his zone. It's usually the way it works. A guy with a big curveball is always a high fastball.
Pitching in pairs. Runner goes. Throw to second. Safe at second. Chris Davis with a stolen base. And now a base hit could deliver 2. Just the 3rd steal of the year for Davis. Adam Lind over at 3rd, had a double with 1 out. Davis at 2nd now, a walk and a steal. And Segura up there with 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes on him. Into right field, that's down, base hit. Lind is in. Here comes Davis, the throw to the plate, tough hop, safe at the plate. Davis scores, and on the second goes Segura. The Brewers put 2 on the board. It's now 7-2 Milwaukee.
Well, nice job by Gene Segura. Now with 3 RBIs tonight on a 2-strike pitch, able to dump one into right field. And yeah, we talk about Segura and the adjustments that he's been able to make in the second half. Gets on top of that high heater. Tough throw for Stewart to handle. And that's your Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game. Make that 2 insurance runs of the game.
and make that a 5-run lead as Clint Hurdle will make a pitching change. He'll go to his bullpen. Tough night for Soria. He'll exit with 2 outs in the 8th. RBI single. He moved to second on the throw to the plate. And it's 7-2 Brewers. Bobby Lafremboy is on to pitch for Clint Hurdle's Pittsburgh Pirates, coming up from Indianapolis.
Yeah, came up today. He was a reliever out of the bullpen, 54 appearances and a .298 earned run average. 3rd time he's been with the Pirates this year. Well, you see his numbers down in the minor leagues. 52 strikeouts and 54 in the 3rd innings.
Here's Elian Herrera. Turn around, hit right-handed. Had 2 doubles as a left-handed batter tonight. Doubled off Garrett Cole in the 2nd inning. Knocked it over the head of the center fielder McCutchen. Scored a run in that inning, then had a double off Cole in the 4th as well. Knocked it over the head of Polanco in right.
Big, tall side armor, kind of throws low 3/4, and yeah, makes it very difficult on left-handed batters. Right-handers can see it a little bit better. Opponent batting average down in the minor leagues this year. Yeah, down in Indianapolis, 206. Tough guy to hit.
In the air, left field, playable for Marte. And that will retire the side, but the Brewers get a pair. Takes it out of a save situation. Segura with 3 runs batted in tonight. Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. Ninth inning from Miller Park, 7-2. Brewers lead the Pirates. And changes for Milwaukee here. Logan Schaefer will come into play center field. That bumps Domingo Santana to right field. And Rock, the new pitcher, it's not K-Rod and it's not Jeffers. Now with a 5-run lead, it's David Goforth.
Man, hopefully Goforth's going to be able to finish this one off. Got called up on August 14th from AAA. Fourth different time he's been with the Brewers this year. Made his major league debut back on May 26th against the Giants. Last pitch against the Reds on Saturday.
Well, Craig Counsell 3 outs away from his 4th straight win against the Pirates. Starling Marte will lead off. First ball swinging. He pops it up. That'll stay playable. Herrera in foul grounds. 1 pitch and 1 out for Goforth. Pirates came in playing as good as anybody in baseball. Pittsburgh went 19-8 in the month of August. They really put the pedal down after they were swept here in July.
27-12 since.
Had won 7 of their last 8 on the road. Brewers a chance with 2 more outs to take the season series advantage. 7-6 against the Pirates if they close this one out. 1 away for McCutchen. Buckled his knees in there with a strike.
Yeah, 2 more here at Miller Park in this series, and then a 4-game set on the next road trip in Pittsburgh.
And the Pirates will be just getting home at that point. Called strike 3. McCutchen is rung up. David Goforth, 2 up, 2 down, strikes out McCutchen looking on a breaking ball.
And you can see it right on the edge of the strike zone. Lucroy gets down on the knees, holds it right there, and I think McCutchen knew it. You think he thought about arguing but realized it was a 5-run game and decided why bother?
I think that probably crossed his mind. It was a little bit of, I need to make sure everybody knows that wasn't my fault, but I don't want to really take it to the next step.
I'm not going to get yelled at here. I'm not getting thrown out.
Even though Foxtrot's had it in the strike zone. Ramirez swings in the air, left center field, long way out there, and Aramis Ramirez with a home run. So he bites his old team with 2 outs in the 9th inning. That's number 14 on the year for Ramirez, his 3rd as a Pirate. Gets a hand from this Brewers crowd.
Fastball right down the middle, and Ramirez knew he got it into that Brewers bullpen. And that's a 4-run game.
Here is Gong now with 2 away. Cardinals now trailing 5-3. The Nationals have added a run there. Game's in the top of the 8th inning. Cubs are leading against the Reds at home. Chicago up 5-4 now. They've just taken the lead. That's a comeback for the Cubs. They scored a couple of runs in the 6th and then 2 in the 7th. And Kyle Schwarber is at it again. He's starting September like he finished August. Hit his 13th home run of the season. Votto and Suarez both homered for the Reds. 3 balls and a strike on Gung. Neil Walker on deck. In the air, left field. Davis going back, and he's out of room, and that one's gone. Back-to-back home runs for the Pirates. Gone with his 13th of the year, his second hit. And this one getting a touch uncomfortable now. It is a 3-run Brewers lead with that homer.
And Rick Cranit's on his way out, and Gunn with big power. I mean, the 3-1 fastball, go for it, just making sure he's not going to walk him. He throws one down the middle and knocks it out of here. That was a line drive bullet. Back-to-back home runs, and it's a 3-run lead.
And the Brewers are a batter away from bringing Francisco Rodriguez into the game.
Yeah, and you got some thump still coming up. You got Walker, and then you got Alvarez on deck. 2 outs and nobody on. The Pirates have hit 3 home runs in the last 2 innings.
Alvarez, Ramirez, and Gung here. 2 outs. Here is Walker. First ball swinging, base hit. That's going to get down into the corner. Extra bases for Neil Walker. He'll roll into second with a double.
That'll bring on Francisco Rodriguez. Boy, who would have thought a 5-run lead going into this inning? 2 outs, nobody on, and Craig Counsell is going to bring in his closer. Goodness gracious.
The tying run is now on deck, which makes it a save situation, which means Counsell will bring on Francisco Rodriguez. Goforth cannot finish the inning. 3 straight hits, 2 homers and a double. So a pitching change here in the 9th. Brewers an out away from sealing up a win, and here comes K-Rod. Cannot finish this game. 2 homers and a double. The tying run has moved on deck. And with 2 outs in the 9th, Francisco Rodriguez looking for 1 out and trying to wrap up save number 32.
Yeah, 31 came on Sunday against Cincinnati. A 3-up, 3-down 9th. And blew the only save of the year on this homestand.
That snapped a string of 35 in a row for Francisco Rodriguez. And here's Pedro Alvarez, who homered his last time up. A missile into the Toyota territory in deep right center. Shift is on for Alvarez. Expecting him to pull one on the ground. And he swings and hits it off the end of the bat. And that's the easiest save in Francisco Rodriguez's life. 1 pitch. So the ball game's over. The Brewers win it. 7-4 the final. Jimmy Nelson the winner at 11-10 now. K-Rod with his 32nd save. The Brewers beat the Pirates ace tonight, Garrett Cole, who drops to 15-8. Put 5 runs on him in 4 innings in this one. Segura with 3 runs batted in. Brewers make it 4 in a row, and it's time for Brewers Live. Let's send it out to Craig Kashawn, standing by in right field.
All right, B8, thanks very much. The Brew Crew won 3 of 4. Good news there. Plenty to talk about, including a bounce-back performance by Jimmy Nelson. And we'll hear from Craig Counsell. Stay with us.